Bonsoir. Monsieur le ministre, monsieur l'ambassadeur, chers amis, mesdames et messieurs, chers invités. Merci à vous tous de vous être déplacés ce soir pour l'inauguration de cette exposition consacrée à la réconciliation. Ce projet est le fruit de la collaboration entre l'Institut Goethe, l'Institut français et l'association IRIBA. Que tous ceux qui ont contribué à la réalisation de cette exposition soient ce soir remerciés. Je voudrais cependant marquer une mention spéciale pour IRIBA, qui aura joué un rôle essentiel et décisif à son aboutissement. L'exposition évoque une trentaine d'exemples de processus de paix partout dans le monde au cours du siècle passé. Avant de se réjouir de la réussite de ces processus de paix et de réconciliation, il faut malheureusement constater qu'ils ont été précédés de conflits. Nous aurions pu remonter plus loin dans le temps et relever que s'il y a une constante et une récurrence, c'est celle des conflits, et que l'espèce humaine a peut-être une plus grande propension à se disputer qu'à se réconcilier, et que la paix est trop souvent plus difficile à faire que la guerre. Il faut donc faire preuve sur ce sujet d'humilité et de modestie et se garder de donner des leçons à qui que ce soit. Choisir ou ne pas choisir la réconciliation, la fraternité et la paix n'est pas un exercice facile. Il suffit, pour s'en convaincre, de se remettre en mémoire la tirade dite du dilemme que Pierre Corneille a mis dans la bouche de Chimène dans sa pièce du Cid il y a 400 ans pour en mesurer l'extraordinaire complexité. Je la cite. « C'est peu dire aimer Elvire, je l'adore. Ma passion s'oppose à mon ressentiment. Dedans mon ennemi, je trouve mon amant. Je sens qu'en dépit de toute ma colère, Rodrigue dans mon cœur combat encore mon père. Il attaque, il presse, il cède, il se défend. Tantôt fort, tantôt faible, tantôt triomphant. Mais en ce dur combat de colère et de flamme, il déchire mon cœur sans partager mon âme. Et quoique mon amour ait sur moi un pouvoir, je ne consulte point pour suivre mon devoir. Je cours sans balancer où mon honneur m'oblige. Rodrigue m'est bien cher, son intérêt m'afflige. Mon cœur prend son parti, mais malgré son effort, je sais ce que je suis et que mon père est mort. De la trentaine d'exemples qui nous sont proposés, je ne tirerai donc, et sans prétention, que 3 enseignements. Il n'y a aucune recette miracle ni de méthode infaillible pour se réconcilier et faire la paix. Pour se réconcilier, il faut se parler, se respecter et accepter ses différences. On se réconcilie peut-être pour soi-même, mais on se réconcilie surtout pour les générations futures, en considérant que les enfants ne sont jamais responsables de leurs parents. Le contre-exemple de la réconciliation, ce sont les phénomènes de vendetta, où la vengeance de la vengeance appelle la vengeance jusqu'à ce qu'on ne sache plus pourquoi l'on se venge. Parce que cette exposition a une vocation essentiellement pédagogique, chacun y trouvera matière à réflexion. Le colloque, qui l'accompagne demain, par la qualité des intervenants choisis, en complétera la richesse. Je formule le souhait que les Rwandais, engagés dans un tel processus, après l'horrible génocide des Tutsis, soient très nombreux à venir la voir, ici ou pendant son itinérance dans le pays. Notre vœu est surtout que cette exposition soit utile. Je ne peux pas terminer cette petite intervention sans dire un mot tout particulier sur la réconciliation franco-allemande. Après 3 guerres, des millions de morts de part et d'autre, je sais, en tant qu'Alsacien, ce que ce drame commun a représenté. Mes 2 grands-pères ont été soldats de l'armée impériale allemande, mon père a été soldat de l'armée française. Et c'est ce soir, avec fierté et émotion, que j'ouvre cette exposition avec mon ami, l'ambassadeur Faranus. Je vous remercie.
I've decided to speak in English, even though I understand French very, very well, but to speak I still prefer English. In German, I think I would need a translator. I would have decided to speak German, so please bear with me. I'm very glad now that this event is taking place on the art of reconciliation. It is taking place right here in Kigali, in Rwanda. I want to thank everybody who contributed to make this possible. The Institut français, RIBA, the Rwanda Library Services, the German Goethe Institute. Now, in 2014 is a year of commemorations. 100 years beginning of World War I, 75 years beginning of World War II, 25 years fall of the Berlin Wall, 20 years genocide in Rwanda, among others. Mostly sad events. Somehow, looking at history, it seems that more energy has been committed to fueling conflicts. More efforts were deployed on the art of war than on creating peace. Hence, we must welcome everything contributing to the art of reconciliation. The 22nd of January 1963 was the day in Paris on which the new closer friendship between Germany and France began, when President Charles de Gaulle and Chancellor Konrad Adenauer signed the Élysée Treaty. This was an essential step in the process of reconciliation between France and Germany, and it marked a turning point in the history of our two peoples, who had been enemies for centuries. After so many years, after the loss of so many lives, after the occupation of France, after Germany had first destroyed Europe, and then itself been divided, the vicious circle of war, defeat, humiliation, and revenge, in which the two countries had been trapped for so long, had finally been broken. At the time, only a few years after the end of the Second World War, making this gesture of reconciliation took an enormous amount of courage. Charles de Gaulle, like other politicians in other countries, had to explain to his fellow countrymen that after so much suffering through wars and occupation, there were very good reasons to forgive the enemy. At that time, many people in France still regarded Germans as enemies. Charles de Gaulle and Konrad Adenauer, two men deeply marked by the catastrophes of the 20th century, had the courage to put their faith in reconciliation. By signing this treaty, which engaged the governments of our two countries to cooperate, they laid the foundations for an unprecedented new relationship between our two peoples. For that reason, Franco-German cooperation could be regarded as something maybe without parallel in history. Crucially, the Franco-German friendship is much more than a diplomatic relationship between two governments. The Franco-German friendship also consists of bonds established between countless ordinary people as citizens in our two countries. Without reconciliation between France and Germany, the European process of unification would never have been able to develop as it has. And it is this process which has brought freedom, peace, and prosperity to Europe. Rwanda is another example for successful reconciliation. During the 20 years after the tragedy of the genocide in Rwanda, its people and its leaders have chosen the path of reconciliation. Looking at the historical experience and political realities, this was the right choice. And one has to say it took courage to make this choice, to walk the path of reconciliation in Rwanda. But it was a choice essential for creating hope for Rwanda's future. Some necessary elements for successful reconciliation are security for all citizens, justice and human rights, equitable economic development which improves the lives of the poor citizens, inclusive politics representing the will of the people. I'm convinced that Rwanda will move forwards successfully on this path. And in conclusion, I want to say that Franco-German reconciliation and the process of reconciliation of Rwanda gives us the hope that the art of reconciliation can prevail over the art of war in this world. Thank you very much.
Je ne sais pas comment dire bonsoir en allemand. J'apprendrai ça la prochaine fois. First of all, I want to commend this exhibition. I know Institut always organizes things properly, and I'm surprised that she could. Anyway, they say they are brothers, and they showed it. That to bring Germans and French together with you, chapeau. This exhibition is also among many activities that we intend to do, especially to showcase the new Rwanda. Je pense que monsieur l'ambassadeur a parlé de ça. Le Rwanda, on voudrait changer notre image. C'est quelqu'un qui entend parler du Rwanda ne pense pas au génocide directement. Because now wherever you go, when you say from Rwanda, I watched Hotel Rwanda, what happened there? We want to be a country where they say, I'm coming from Rwanda, the country of reconciliation, where people live in peace, where people live as one. I think this is just a beginning. And I think one of the ambassadors mentioned it. Wars attract more attention than peace and reconciliation. Look, it's 20 years that Rwanda has changed, but people are still thinking of what happened in 1994. There's some friends who came last weekend. Actually, there's a friend who invited them from South Africa. He was coming from Nigeria. He showed me the exchange, the main exchange. They were saying, are you sure we are safe? And they're in Africa, can you imagine? Africans still thinking that in Rwanda, they're not safe. Why everybody, it's not just because I'm proud of being Rwanda, but everybody knows that now Rwanda is the safest country in the world. So it shows that people focus more on wars, on conflicts, than the reconciliation process. So this kind of exhibition, I think it's welcome, and it should not be just be here in Rwanda. We should bring more in those countries where they don't know about Rwanda, what's happening. So we have many embassies. We can organize so that in every embassy organize such exhibition. And the fact of having talked about Germany and France and Germany, they have been in conflict for more than 100 years, as they say. But now, their reconciliation built Europe. Parce que l'Union européenne, sans l'Allemagne et la France, je ne pense pas que ça tiendrait le coup. Et c'est la base. As we also wonder, from our tragedy, we are now in integration of East African community. Even also for CPGL. C'est-à-dire qu'on a des leçons à apprendre aux autres. Après les conflits, on voit que ça ne sert à rien. Parce que toujours dans les conflits, tout le monde est perdant. Il n'y a pas de gagnant dans les conflits. L'être humain est perdant dans les conflits. So, quand on sort de là, on cherche la réconciliation, on cherche l'unité. C'est pourquoi maintenant on s'ouvre à l'extérieur. Rwanda is open now. We were open to Africans, they can arrive and get visa on arrival, but I think even soon you see everybody can come to Rwanda. That's our policy. Open doors. We don't hide anything. We welcome everybody. And this exhibition, ce colloque, ça va montrer au monde que les Rwandais ont dépassé les différences, soi-disant différences qu'il y avait entre eux. Parce qu'on a remarqué que ce qui nous unit est plus fort et c'est largement plus grand que ce qui nous sépare. Même langue, même culture, même espace, même tradition, même religion. Et toujours le même Dieu, Imana. Les Rwandais, même avant l'arrivée des colons, on avait un seul Dieu. We have only one God, called Imana. We still have Imana. They never changed the name. And if you look well, sometimes I tease the Catholic. I tell them, they didn't bring anything here. Because in our tradition, we think that if somebody good dies, like in the Catholic Church, we say he goes to heaven. He was going in Muhabura, the volcano which is no longer in activity. Paradise. And if he was stubborn, if it was no good, when he dies, he goes to Nyamuragila and Nyagongo, which are the volcanoes who are still in activity. Hell! We used to have low beneath. That's what they do. Kwera, Pira, all these things. So there's nothing they taught us. So that was just talking about how things changed. And we came to our genocide, conflict, and then all the projectors, all the papers, everyone was writing about Rwanda. And after they just closed and went. Now, Rwanda is a place where, when you hear about Rwanda, it's about reconciliation. Where Rwandans are living in peace, in harmony, after 20 years. Somebody who was here 20 years ago cannot recognize this place. So assume that what we're doing is good. And also showing what happens elsewhere. Elsewhere it took 100 years. We took just 20 years, not even 20 years. We are already there. So it means whatever I use 100, we use 20. That's why I say reconciliation should be just Rwanda. It's a matter of image. And the image comes with visuals, audio visuals, ICT, which is a new and add-on because our government believes in that. If we have used our traditional oral, the oral tradition, it will not be sustainable because it will be transformed. You will not remember what happened, it will be changed, it will be distorted, but now with the new ICT and audio visuals, I think it will really back what we have been going through, and everybody will know where we come from. Because we have not forget about that. Because if you have reconciliation, you must know why you are reconciliating. Why are you united? So it means that once in the history there were problems, and we're showing that. So ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your attention, and again I thank the Free Institute, Goethe Institute, Institut français, et Centre Iliba, which is a source. I don't know if she explained to you what is Iliba. Iliba is a source of water, not even any source. Source, and water is life. So, congrats for this, and we are expecting more. And not only here, but also worldwide, so that the world knows that Rwanda means reconciliation. R. Rwanda as R as reconciliation. Thank you very much, and on these notes, I officially open this colloquium and this exhibition.